yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by insurance agents Michael Webster and Denise Brown from Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in life and property insurance. Don't take chances with your family's future.
And now, The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Here's your host, Sabrina Turner.
Good morning, Cayman, and welcome to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. I'm your host, Sabrina Turner. The Business Buzz is brought to you every Tuesday and Thursday and is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Give them a call, 949-6211, and also by Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. I am pleased to put the spotlight on our first guest and talking about Eco Rides Cayman. In studio with me, I welcome Mr. Shane Noby Edwards, founder and owner of Eco Rides Cayman. Good morning, Mr. Edwards, and welcome to our show.
Good morning, ma'am.
Everybody, you know him as Noby.
Yeah.
We're going to be hearing more about Eco Rides Cayman through, the beautiful fishing village of East End. But before getting into all of that, and if you don't mind, I'll call you Noby.
Yeah, no problem.
Give our listening audience and share with us a little bit about who you are and how you came about understanding that you're an Indigenous Caymanian.
Uh-huh. Be careful. We probably as rare as blue guana.
Well, that's how we tend to distinguish ourselves recently. But give us a little history about yourself.
Yeah, well, first off, I'd like to say that some people don't believe that Noby is my name, Nobee. It is my middle name.
Mm-hmm. Shane Noby Edwards.
And just give you a little bit about that to probably give people more understanding of me. I don't know if it's too in-depth, but my grandfather gave me that name.
Uh-huh.
He gave me that name. Grandfather's name was Mr. Lester McLean.
Okay.
He gave me that name because, one of the first times that he went to church with my grandmother,
mm-hmm.
there was a preacher there, and the preacher's name was Noby from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And he named me after him.
Okay.
I don't think he went back to church much.
Well, that means he had good hopes for you.
Yeah, but very, very good man. And I take it very much to heart. The
mm-hmm.
naming.
That's right. You should be proud of that. Well, tell us how it came about. I mean, you're into Eco Rides, but people may know you from Team 2 Frenzy and the East End Surf Challenge.
Yeah, of course. Well, I used to sail before. I used to do a lot of other stuff like that. I enjoy nature. And, of course, I lost my license once and decided I would actually get a jet ski to ride to Rum Point because we used to go down there so often. Used to take my sailboat down there, hub a cat, and sail over.
Uh-huh.
And then, from that, every weekend going down there, I decided, probably be interesting to get into this. Met up with Kenny Rankin, and he said, come out to a race. And in 1999, I did my first race, and I came in fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to a lot of people, like 1999... Now they can put all the numbers together.
Uh-huh.
But I was actually 29 when I started jet ski racing. Unlike some of the kids I was racing against, I was 15. Right.
So you did well.
Right. And I did well. And then years after that, I came second and in jet around Cayman, and then decided to actually do my own jet ski race.
Right.
Now, I named it, I went and asked Donald McLean because I used to sail with him on Frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
That's his boat. And he gave me the suggestion to name the team 2 Frenzied.
Okay.
And Frenzied is a state of agitation because I was just kind of like frantic when I got there, and I raced hard, right?
Uh-huh.
So it was just what meant for me, I guess. And then we decided to, give back to the community. I decided to give back to the community by this. So my first person that I actually gave a donation to was from my winnings in 1999 was Craig Barton, who actually went to, I think, is New York University or something like that. Haven't seen Craig much, but yeah. But anyway, then I decided that I should continue to give the community, and did East End Surf Challenge. Extended on with the Flowers Bottled Water, Fish Tea Cook-Off, and other community stuff to bring people to the district of East End. It was really great, and I really appreciate all the people who showed the love and came out and enjoyed the event. Of course, over the years, it was difficult to maintain it from, so much losses and what have you. And of course, I think they have the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association now that's carrying that on somehow. But I don't think they even have Jerry around Cayman right now. I'm not sure.
No, I haven't heard.
Yeah, but the whole idea for me was I enjoy sports. Used to play soccer, sail, like I tell you, and getting out there on a jet ski was just one of the best things that I found, and it actually saved me. To be honest, I went through some difficult times, and going out on a jet ski, doing crazy things like
just got you to release.
Yeah, going around the island on by myself, training in very rough conditions. Kenny Rankin also did that. Jason Smith, all those guys. Take my hat off to those guys. They were the real Naya man, is what I call myself. So basically, after all of that, and I decided not to continue with East End Surf Challenge. I decided to do something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that is to show people the culture and heritage of the district of East End. Going for years to the district, promoting the district, and telling all my friends, and bringing so much people here, which a lot of people don't even know. They come to the district and want to see things in East End, and I take them around and show them the places to eat. I said, to be honest, I was cycling now and again around, and for years I've been working on these routes and figuring out things of what I can show people. So I just incorporated the things that I like and showed people along the way. The things that a lot of people don't pay attention to. For example, I know where most of the white sea grape trees are. Do you know?
No.
Right?
I find the cassava cake.
Right? I know where the sweetest sea grape trees are. Those are the kind of things of what I've been paying attention to over the years. And just if I could even put this in there, I know the Department of Environment, they go around and other people or whoever it is that does it, but they go around, they talk about the sharks and protecting the iguanas, which is great. But, I've seen the people cutting down trees that
development.
Right, that I think that they should also consider. I mean, we're talking about even cocoa plum or almond trees. There's some that's sweeter than others.
Yes.
Right, and I can't explain it, but as you go through and you check these out year after year,
you're seeing less and less because of development.
Yeah.
Well, with Eco Rides Cayman, you have the ability to take people around your district and show them those things. Do you feel that much more education needs to be done so persons can respect what you've just described?
Well, I think that this is probably what most of the people coming to Cayman want, because that's mainly what I talk about on my tours and show them, and a lot of people like that. But I think you're correct. I think they need to do more of actually
awareness
in that area of the different plants we have, because we were talking about the green iguanas eating up everything. That is our flora and fauna, and of course, what about the things like guineps and all those kind of things? It sounds weird, but some people I know that were in other Caribbean islands take my tour, and they said, I can't remember seeing this the last time I've seen this, and it's here on the island, and So anyway, it's I'm just thankful that I'm able to show it on my end of the island. Yeah.
What remains.
Yeah.
Now, what does your bike tours cover? That takes you through some of those areas because you have an option of bike and water, correct?
No,
it's just
only
bikes.
Yeah, because what basically I did was I have these different routes, but I started off with 3 tours, which was I wanted to provide one tour, and that tour would have been 18 miles, which is the Cayman Inland Escape. That is the tour that I think most people want to do if they want to see East End. And I tried it out a couple of times with friends, some really good friends like Letitia Lawrence and Julie Nicholas, and of course, I can't remember, but he was the president the manager of Royal Bank. Can't remember. Anyway, very nice people. We did some really good run through with it, and it was long but doable. Then the resorts are. When I spoke to them, they said, well, what about a shorter tour? So I broke it down into the sunrise and the sea breeze. And then after like a year or so much of my guests were coming back, and they said, well, we want to do other tours. No, that's not true. Sorry. In I think like April of the first year, I incorporated the cave tour.
Okay.
Right, because that was a favorite at the time. I remember it opened up 2016. And then I added on the coastal loop, which is 19 miles. And then now I just added another tour, which is called the Getaway, which is like 32 miles.
Wow.
Right. And most people won't believe that I do all the tour.
Wow.
Right? So basically, we have a variety of tours, with the shortest tour being the Sunrise.
What kind of feedback have you received relating to the tours, and where so good customer service is operating a type of this business? What type of feedback have you gotten so far?
Well,
TripAdvisor,
the feedback
I'm quite sure.
from TripAdvisor has been quite amazing. The last 3 years, we've received the Certificate of Excellence, which is for consistent 5-star reviews or something like that. I must say we've had some really good people, and we're happy that they receive our tour the way they do. We would love to have more locals, but we don't get that much local people involved.
After today's show, you'll get a few. This is a long weekend coming up.
Maybe.
The type of bicycles, people have to bring, I'm quite sure you have bicycles, but what if persons want to bring their own?
We try to,
for locals,
to ensure that we have the bikes there, because on the tour, if something happens, I want to know that I can take care of the bikes.
Okay.
So I basically, our bikes are actually a quick release. We have everything there. We have snack bar, water. We provide helmets, everything, and we have very good quality bikes with the Fuji bikes, and little more. All of our guests have actually liked them. So that's basically why we don't really bring in other bikes today.
Like I said, this is a long weekend coming up. It kind of snuck up on us because it's earlier this year. I think it's a week earlier. How can persons make appointments to go on one of your tours?
Well, we have a maximum of 10 people on our tour. I have done a little bit more when they're really avid, because I have some guests that say, we're coming in large group and we want to work, we want to go on a tour, and if they're good cyclists and we could fit the bikes. But all of our bookings are in advance. Okay. We'd have to do advance booking because we have to fit the bikes, and we have only limited bikes. So within what we have, we try to fit them around. It has worked that way. Of course, I've seen other people coming off the cruise ship with a lot of bikers on the road. 10 is my maximum, like I said.
Quality, not quantity, is what I'm getting from you.
Yeah, but not only that, it's about safety. I'm really concerned about safety. I wouldn't want someone to get hurt on my tour. Right. Remember, I travel these roads every day. It's not about me making money more than giving people a great experience, and I think that's what people like, right? Of course, I want to make money. I want to make sure that
you can cover your overheads.
Yeah, but I also do have a lot of safety stuff put in place. I have a Garmin radar. which tells me when cars are behind, have it attached to my GPS, and also have a Garmin watch that it attached to. So I have a lot of techy stuff to keep me up to date with my traffic and stuff, and I give good instructions of people. I probably kind of might upset some people that are used to driving and stuff on the right, and I keep having to tell them to stay on the left.
On the correct side of the road.
But at the end of the day, they're very happy.
Right.
And in another safety measure is that we start all our tours at 7 a.m. except for our cave trek in the middle of the day. And the reason for that is safety. Of course, it's less traffic that time in the morning because most of the traffic, as you know, leaves from 6 and gone. And, that has helped us a lot. Now, I can tell you that there's more traffic on the road that I've seen in the last year than when I started.
Wow.
And I think it's because so much development is going on.
Coming east.
In North Side and East End. And then a lot of people are actually staying on that end island now for tourists. So that's very good. Right.
Well, we heard all about, before the show started, we were talking about the Go East initiative, and it's definitely making its way now. Yeah. Now we got to put the necessary infrastructures in place to accommodate this and assist your business like yours to continue to grow. We got to take a break because we got to pay some bills. Again, the Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center. If you're just joining us, we put the spotlight this morning on our first guest, Eco Rides Cayman. In studio with me, I'm joined with Sheen Nobi Edwards, owner of Eco Rides Cayman. Over to you, Susan.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the historical vignette series, sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Avida Eluda Bodden Forbes, 1894 to 1986. Eluda Bodden was born in East End. During her childhood, when medical services were very limited, she was always interested in helping her mother to care for the sick. At the age of 22, she married Ebenetus Forbes of Breakers, with whom she eventually had 8 children. After starting her own family, Eluda volunteered to be a midwife, and she traveled to many districts on foot or on a donkey or horse to deliver babies. Sometimes she would leave home a week prior to the due date to help prepare for the birth, and she stayed up to 8 days after the birth cooking and caring for the new mother's family. When she was at home, Eluda made thatch rope, baskets, and brooms. Brooms were her specialty, and she received requests for them from the United States and Canada. She was the last known Caymanian to make castor oil from the oil nut that was grown locally. She knew many different herbs, which she gathered from the bush and made into medicine for her patients. In hundreds of deliveries, she never lost a child or its mother.
Radio Cayman's historical facts vignettes are proudly brought to you by Cayman National, with branches on all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
When you need stability, think Business of the Year.
Considering a new career opportunity, think Best Place to Work.
When dependability matters, think Outstanding Workforce.
In need of a reliable financial partner? Think Bank of the Year.
When you seek excellence, think Cayman National.
No matter how many accomplishments we achieve, we always set the bar higher. That's why we are the most awarded bank in Cayman, and we are proud to be your
2018 Bank of the Year. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Always be prepared and ensure your family is provided for. Cayman Insurance Center specializes in life, property, motor, health, and liability at the most competitive premiums and affordable rates on island. Call Michael Webster today at 925-5433 for life insurance or Denise Brown at 814-7229 for property insurance. Call them today for all your insurance needs.
Each weekday, Monday through Friday, Miracle Brokers is the proud sponsor of Radio Cayman's Bulletin Board. For all your moving needs, call the professionals of Miracle Brokers, 949-5989 or 916-0355. For a free estimate, they take the hassle out of moving. Miracle Brokers.
Now located at 140 Kingbird Drive in the North Sound.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Sabrina Turner, that is proudly brought to you and sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center, keeping the spotlight on Eco Rides Cayman. Eco Rides offers guided tours through the sleepy fishing village of East End. Tours are geared towards providing you with the history and heritage of the district of East End, as well as identifying key sightseeing areas. Tours includes the Collier's Wilderness Reserve, Collier's Public Beach, Wreck of the 10 Sails, the Lighthouse, Undiscovered Family Cave, and the Blowholes, Lover's Wall, and much more. Telling us more, I am pleased to have in studio with me this morning Mr. Sheen Nobi Edwards. As his company grows and coming from, life is all about different chapters and different journeys.
Yep.
People may remember you from East End Surf Challenge, but here you are. Now in Eco Rides Cayman, and this is doing very well. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Now, for the sake of those persons who may want to get a breakdown of each of your tours, you offer Cayman Sunrise, Cayman Sea Breeze, and Cayman Inland Escape. Can you just quickly explain what each of those rides are or tours are?
Yeah, well, there's much more than that.
I'm
There's
sure.
3, but the other ones are the Sea Breeze, the Coastal Loop, and the Cave Trek, and of course the Cayman Getaway, which is our most recent. But what the Cayman Sunrise is about is a short tour through the district. It's about 11 miles. It goes down to the blowholes. It tells you, gives a lot of stops on the way through, and that's just really to give you that cultural push. And of course, if it actually identifies all of the different food areas and sightseeing points along the way. Places like Big Tree Barbecue, Miss Vivian's Kitchen, of course, Tuka, Eastern Starfish Fry, Herman's, all those places. This is actually the best way for people to learn about what the district has to offer. Right. And that they can come back and actually enjoy it, whether it's now or the next time. This is what I think is so key about these tours. It gives people a better insight into what the district was, what it came from, and what's available now.
Right.
And that's great. And then the other one, the Sunrise goes... the other tour is called the Sea Breeze, which includes the same thing, but it goes a little further down to Lover's Wall, and of course takes people in there to the Health City, and we talk about that as well and how important that contribution is. The other tour is the Cayman Inland Escape, which includes all of that again, but it goes all the way inland to places like the farm, telling people about the farming area that we have, explaining how the farming has been done over the years, showing people the cows, talking about how the government is assisting and trying to encourage people with local produce and farming and what have you. And it goes to a place down there called Winter's Land Cistern, which I got special permission to go to. And I know a lot of people want to go there, so a lot of people ask me for the different points. I do apologize. I don't have a map to direct people there. So, this is a business, so if you want to learn about these areas, come take our tour.
That's
and
right.
We can go from there.
Good for you.
And it is private, so it doesn't,
it's not open to the public.
Not open to the public. Then the trek tour. This actually is a tour that I take people on to the cave. I tell them about a lot of stuff, do stops going there and on the way back. We go to the caves, includes the entrance to the cave. We do the whole cave route, and then on the way back, this is one of the tours that I'm seeing the blue iguanas on in the wild.
Okay.
Right? So we are, seen them. I can't guarantee, but it is one of
There's a chance.
Tours. Yeah. Then the other tour is called the Coastal Loop, which I totally enjoy as well. But it goes all the way around on the road, which goes around the loop of East End and North Side, and we do stops on that as well, so people enjoy that. That's more for avid cyclists. Now we have another tour called the Getaway, which goes down to Starfish Point, and this is a very long tour, and I've been working on it over the years, and now have gotten it to where I want it again. Because I have so much repeat customers that want to do more tours with me, they enjoy the way that I present the tours, they're willing to do tours like this. So we've expanded this particular tour that's 32 miles, and it goes all the way down there, and a lot of stops around there. More for cyclists, avid cyclists, but people who want to explore.
Now, Nobi, what about succession planning?
Well,
moving on to the future, who are you grooming for this?
Well, this is the hard part, because I have a little younger guy that has been working with me, but of course, this is not an easy thing to pass on, because it's it's so unique, and it has so much of a niche to it, right? And it takes time. Because it took me time to actually develop.
You must have a passion and love for the country, and an interest in like what you say, the fauna, knowing those sites.
I definitely do, and trust me, I told Sterling this when I came on, and I keep telling people, when I'm out there, sometimes in the morning I get lost because I really enjoy it.
You submerge yourself,
and I guess when you got your own business and you feel connected to it, you want it to work, so you enjoy it. But that I think definitely I would love to have another young East End person to pass it on. It's very difficult because this is not easy. You have to get up at 4 a.m. Sometimes I get up to come down to pick guests up, to take them to the tour and then take them back. Maybe putting someone else in that process, but I want to provide a uniquely Cayman experience. And I do apologize if people don't like that, but I want to get another person.
No apology necessary.
Rather than bringing in someone to do it. And that has been difficult.
Don't apologize for who you are and for what standards you want your company to uphold itself for. That's unique to you, and I applaud you for that effort, and I applaud you for your continuity and showing that love for your community. How can persons get additional information? Is there a website, or even to call you for bookings?
Yeah, honestly, we're almost everywhere on the site. This is how I built the business. I built the business on Instagram. I didn't on a website, but I didn't go out there and pay for advertising. I'm doing some paid advertising now on Instagram and Facebook, but at first I didn't. I just post every day and give people updates, and people seem to have enjoyed that. And put up my flyers out into the different places. I don't put as much out as I should now, but before. But we have a website. The website is www.ecoridescayman.ky. And of course, we're on Instagram as EcoRideCayman. We're on Facebook as EcoRideCayman. We're on Pinterest as EcoRideCayman. We're on Twitter as EcoRideCayman. We're at Google at EcoRideCayman. So, and we're on where you can learn a lot about us. Again, the other place that have really boosted us is TripAdvisor.
Excellent.
Right, so TripAdvisor, EcoRides Cayman. I think one of our guests said we one of the top tours in Cayman or something.
Well, congratulations for you, Shane. All the best for you. And I must say, if there's any closing you'd like to share with us, you have less than a minute.
Yeah. Well, the final closing is I've expanded this also into our bed and breakfast that It's going to be opening up very soon. It's called Grape Tree Cove at my home. And I want people to look out for that. And, of course, check our website every now and again and see updates on that. So you can do a little retreat in the district of East End if you want a bike tour in the morning, or if you just want to have a weekend away from everybody, check out East End. Check out Grape Tree Cove.
Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure, and we want to wish you all success.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more of the Business Buzz after the 8 o'clock news, sports and weather, when we'll put the spotlight on Inspire Cayman Training. The Business Buzz, again, is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center.
Thank you, Sabrina. And studio time now is 8 o'clock. And this time check brought to you by Price Right.
Price Right is Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore, making your dollar go further with huge savings and no membership fees. Get more of the things you use every day at the right price. But it's not just grocery and health and beauty. Price Right has a full range of products from office to automotive, patio furnishings to kitchen appliances, and even electronics. And since warehouse prices mean savings for you, everything is priced right at Price Right, Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore. Access information. Your community. News and information. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. Several government agencies are taking part in an interagency digital evidence collection certification course. Here's Radio Cayman's Shanda Gallego with more.
The course took place during the week of the Association of Caribbean Commissioners of Police conference hosted by the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. It lasted for 5 days, and several officers from various departments took part, including Customs and Border Control Services, Her Majesty's Prison Aviation Communication Limited, and various units within the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. The course was integrated into the mandate of the ACCP, which was to improve policing capabilities across the region, and was conceptualized through the funding assistance of Facebook Inc. Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Kurt Walton, provided the closing remarks and presentation of certificates, while congratulating all 16 participants on having successfully completed the accredited training course. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
Deputy Premier and Tourism Minister, the Honourable Moses Kirkconnell, took part in the QuestX Travel Group's Facebook Live Caribbean Roundtable event this week, day one of the Caribbean Tourism Organization's annual Caribbean Week in New York City. The Honourable Minister shared news about Cayman Islands tourism successes, such as continued record-breaking arrivals and the direct flights to Denver on Cayman Airways. Hosted by Associate Editor of Luxury Travel Advisor and the Caribbean Editor for both Luxury Travel Advisor and Travel Agent, subsidiaries of QuestX, Matt Turner, the roundtable included other islands such as Barbados, Antigua, and Grenada. The Honourable Minister was joined by reps from St. Vincent and the Grenadines to end the event. In regional news, authorities in the Dominican Republic are awaiting toxicology reports in connection with the mysterious deaths of a Maryland couple found inside their resort hotel room Thursday with prescription pill bottles nearby. An autopsy found that 63-year-old Nathaniel Edward Holmes of Temple Hills and 49-year-old Cynthia Ann Day of Upper Marlborough died after their lungs filled with fluid, leading to respiratory failure. A spokesperson for the tourism branch of the National Police said, quote, "It is a bit unusual," but he declined to provide further details while the investigation is ongoing. The U.S. State Department, which assisted local authorities in contacting the couple's families and arranging for the transport of the remains, said its officials are in, quote, close contact with investigators. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC who will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News. China has denounced criticism of its political system by the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo as lunatic ravings and babbling nonsense. The comment came on the 30th anniversary of the Tiananmen massacre, after Mr. Pompeo said that the U.S. had given up hope China would become a more open, tolerant society. The UN World Food Programme says thousands of acres of crops in northern Syria have been burnt during the latest fighting. Activists in rebel-held areas have accused government forces of waging a campaign to destroy vitally needed food crops. President Trump has made a pitch for what he called a very, very substantial trade deal with Britain on the second day of his state visit. But the BBC's political correspondent says that with Mr. Trump's America First policy, it's likely that any trade deal would take years to pass. More than 200 of the world's biggest companies say they believe climate change could cost them almost $1 trillion. In submissions to an environmental charity, the companies estimate that most of the financial risks will begin to materialise over the next 5 years. Police in Australia say 5 people have been killed in a shooting in the city of Darwin. They say they arrested a man who's suspected of having entered a hotel armed with a pump-action shotgun. Poland's right-wing government has reshuffled the cabinet, replacing a finance minister who's thought to have been unhappy about a pre-election spending bonanza. She reportedly questioned how the country could afford the measures. South Africa's economy has contracted by more than 3% in the first quarter of the year, the worst dip in performance for a decade. This comes as bad news for President Cyril Ramaphosa, who won last month's election after pledging to transform the struggling economy. BBC News.
Access and information. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
CUC advises customers in the Crystal Harbor area that they will experience short interruptions of no more than 5 minutes to their electrical service on Wednesday, June 5th between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Areas affected include Crystal Drive, Crichton Drive, from the junction with Crystal Drive West, Galway Quay, Cypress Point, and Cypress Point North, Sardinia Close, Dom Quay, Hoya Quay, and Costa Boda Close. Motorists are asked to drive with caution when in the Crystal Harbor area, as CUC will have a number of trucks and personnel in the area. CUC apologizes for these interruptions, which are necessary to facilitate required overhead infrastructure upgrades to provide our customers with safe, reliable, and efficient power. For more information on the outage and streets affected, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
The Weather Report is proudly sponsored by Super Stitch Sewing and Fabric Center, your one-stop household store at 39 Passador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best prices in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky. New stock is at Stitch. Now don't take my word for it. Drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Super Stitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Super Stitch, 39 Passador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
Good morning. Time now for the latest weather report. Current temperature is 86 degrees. Relative humidity is 71%. Barometric pressure 30.00 inches and rising. The wind is east at 8 knots. Overnight low temperature was 79 degrees. Synopsis indicate light east to southeast winds and slight seas will prevail across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours due to a weak pressure gradient across the northwest Caribbean. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area, which are moving towards the west. Now, the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Forecast for tonight calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures falling to the upper 70s tonight. Winds will be east to southeast 5 knots or less, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 9:26, low tide this afternoon at 7 minutes past 4, and a high tide again tonight at 11:06. The sun will set this evening at 6:59 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:47. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday morning.
Superstitch Sewing and Fabric Center was the proud sponsor of the Weather Report, your one-stop shop for all of your household items, craft items, jewelry, beads, and decorations, and much more. Call Superstitch at 949-2833 or email customer care at superstitch.com.ky. New stock has just arrived at Superstitch. Now don't take my word for it. Drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Superstitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Superstitch, 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look what's happening on our roads. Busy traffic coming from the east on Shamrock Road and also on the Linford Pearson highways. Slight delays expected and extra patience needed as you head on down to Georgetown. Steady traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way. And traffic is steady in Crew Road. Some sections busy. As we look at what's happening on the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions. And light to moderate traffic flow coming from the West Bay four-way stop. On Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is moderate, as well as in and out of Georgetown on Shedden Road. And on Huldah Avenue and Thomas Russell Way, there's steady traffic, but nothing to worry about too much. If you've seen accidents or incidents on Cayman's roads, give us a call here at Radio Cayman 949-6-990. Have a good morning and buckle up.
At Flow, we know that 4 are better than 1. Introducing Flow Quad Play. Packed with the fastest, most reliable broadband, the power and control of Flow Evo TV, Cayman's best mobile experience, and tons of home phone minutes, all in one convenient package from only $199 a month. With 4 plans to choose from, you're sure to find one that fits your needs. It's value, ease, and convenience all on one bill with Cayman's #1 network. Find out why 4 are better than 1 with Flow Quad Play at discoverflow.ky. Terms and conditions apply.
From happy beginnings to happy ever after.
Brit K protects your lifestyle with the best insurance cover at the best possible price.
Health insurance with far-reaching benefits.
95% of claims settled in 5 days.
Low-cost life insurance.
And investments.
Security in retirement.
With a custodian pension plan.
For happy beginnings and a happy ever after.
Visit britk.ky or call 949-8699.
Brit K, where people come first.
Father's Day is on Sunday, June 16th. Healthcare Pharmacy knows that some people don't believe in superheroes, but that's because they haven't met your dad. Healthcare Pharmacy knows what your dad means to you. And we salute all the dads of Cayman with a perfect collection of Father's Day cards by Hallmark and Shoebox. They also offer cologne sets, coffee mugs, picture frames, and much more. Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor and Governor's Square. Our Grand Harbor Pharmacy will be open from 10 to 6 on Father's Day. Make Father's Day super with Healthcare Pharmacy.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. Good morning. I'm your host, Sabrina Turner. And this is our second segment. We put the spotlight and hear from Mr. Michael Miles about Inspire Cayman training. It is a pleasure to have you in our show, Michael, on our show, and to tell us and share with us some information and on this Inspire Cayman training limited.
Thanks, Sabrina. I appreciate you inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Please share with myself and our listening and viewing audience an idea how this idea came about for Inspire Cayman training.
2 years ago, I left the Ministry of Education, and I felt at that time, after working 6 years plus in the ministry, I felt that we were lacking in training up young people. I worked with a lot of vulnerable children who were on their way to prison, on their way to the court system. So I got frustrated. I spoke with multiple agencies, entities, people within and outside of the government, and I just didn't see anyone doing anything to support or move in a direction where I felt that we can stop this pipeline of inmates. So I decided that, I needed to do something different. I was given a really great opportunity to manage and be part of the Hope Academy family. I took that and I started saving money, my own money, because I knew that in order for me to get this done, I am not going to hit the streets and be begging because that just it's taking too much time. So I've been able to save quite a bit of money, and here we are.
I'm so proud of you. Speaking to you off air, and I'm quite sure people who hear our voice will know why.
Yeah.
We're class in 1990. We were talking about that. So I know where we're coming from as young people and now becoming our own adults and having our own family. So I can totally relate with you. Now, can persons visit the center and talk about the admissions representative prior to applying for these courses? Because you offer courses in automotive maintenance and light repair, carpentry, construction, craft and labor, electrical, financial, Peace University, HVAC, intro to automotive plumbing tools for success. I mean, this is amazing what you've put together here, Michael.
I have, and one of the things that I've done over the last 2 years is I've been interviewing a lot of industries. So before I got into this, I knew I wanted to have a training facility, but I wanted to find out where the gaps were. So I started meeting with people in the automotive and construction industries. That's the industries that I felt had the biggest gaps. I started looking at the labor reports. I did a lot of research, and then in addition to that, I started interviewing a lot of contractors. So I met with a lot of big contractors and small contractors, and these were the gaps that they say that we had. They talked about, they needed laborers. They wanted people who they can train to move on into specialized roles. They needed electricians, plumbers. They needed AC repairmen. I met with folks in the automotive industry. Same thing. Several years ago, I was part of the Superior Auto program as well that was highly successful. And, I commend that program because that program kind of opened up a lot of doors and gave me a lot of insight of areas that we really needed to improve. So I piggybacked on that and I started looking at how other things could kind of join together and hit that sweet spot. I also then started looking at the aquatics environment and started looking at how we can get our people as instructors. The average PATA certified instructor isn't Caymanian. The average electrician, plumber isn't Caymanian, right? The average contractor in this country is no longer Caymanian. So there's a lot of gaps here. What I've asked those industries to do is join me. So, join me in the sense of help me do the training and then guarantee that our young people have a place to go. Because it makes no sense to do training if there's not a place to pass that training on to. So that's what I've been spending a lot of time in the last year and a half doing, is speaking to folks in the industry, understanding what the gaps are in the industry. It's not Michael Myers going to bed and waking up one morning saying, I want to have a training program. Just not how I do things. Sabrina, we've commissioned hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of reports in our country. I have all of them. In addition to that, I've collected multiple school inspection reports that have all said many of the same things of where our gaps are, where our kids are lacking, and a lot of it comes down to training. Right? Like I was telling you, the majority of jobs in our country now don't require a college degree. It requires a certification or certificate or training in a particular area. And as a country, we can provide this, right? This is easy. You mentioned, we have Hart 4 to 5 minutes from us, and yet we've yet to go over there and look at what they are doing to ensure that their training programs are successful. we don't have the interest because we are too busy making a lot of money off of it in terms of work permits and other things that the private sector is providing.
Now, I know that Public Works Department definitely has a good thing going on there. They had a graduation last week, and I applaud them for their efforts.
Sure.
They're well on their way, and it also, every student, including my son, was secured with a job.
Absolutely.
And that's what we want to see.
And those are the things that I consistently, applaud as well. My biggest issue is that Public Works, the program at Public Works should be expanded into other industries, right? It also is limited to just students from SciFec. So if you don't attend SciFec, you don't get in that program. Right now, I don't know how it's going to change in the next year.
There are plans. The facilities were brought out there. The chief, I think, Mr. Dax. No, I please pardon me if I got the name wrong. But the great things are going to happen. I feel they're actually right now companies that are waiting for these. Now, whether it'll be open up for persons like yours, where people can go and they can register. Here's another outlet. If you're saying that is an opportunity from SciFec, now you're offering something similar.
Absolutely.
That persons who may not come through the SciFec program will still have this access to being trained.
I totally agree.
Now,
Absolutely.
your training is accredited, correct?
Yes.
Can you explain, go into a little bit of that?
About a year, probably about 8 months ago, I decided that, one, I needed something that provided our people with tangible certifications. I didn't just want something that if a young person went to a job that they had this generic certificate. So I was put in touch with two organizations, NCCER, the National Center for Construction Education and Research, and the ASC program, which is the Automotive International Accreditation program as well. And these are two nationally or international renowned programs that provides the accreditation that it's all movable from one country. It's all portable, right? So if a young person decide that, they want to move countries, they want to relocate, it's all portable to anywhere in the world. And I think that that's what gives this program a lot of teeth. As construction companies become more global, our people have an opportunity, like the law firms, the banks, the accounting organizations. It's all global now. Our people have the opportunity to also move where the work is. So I wanted to make sure that was one of the advantages that our Caymanians have.
Now, will students have to take an entrance exam prior to being accepted to any of your courses?
So it's I would say it's more of an entrance assessment, because I want to make sure that I'm setting our people up for success. I need to be able to also understand what limitations that they're coming in with. So the curriculum is written for at least an 8th grade. It's written at an 8th grade level. So if you're coming in below that, there's not a lot of success you are going to have. And I am very much aware, just from a lot of work of working within the public school systems and certainly working within the community, that a lot of young people are very, very talented, but they're also low academically. And I want to make sure that I head that off up front so I can provide the necessary support for them to guarantee their success. So I need to know where they're coming in at, and that's why I need to be able to assess as much as I possibly can.
Now let's talk about your instructors. What type of team? How much do you actually have with you at this time?
So currently I have about 5 people who've committed their time. I have one full-time instructor for our day program, and then I have a number of part-time people as well that's going to be coming in to support the programs around. One of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to ensure that we were flexible enough that those folks that are working full-time that can't come to a day program, that we have an evening program. So I had to hire people for that. But I also want to protect those young people who have really nowhere to go. I needed to be able to keep them off the street, keep them doing something productive, and also keep them, moving forward as well. So we will have a day and evening program. The great thing about being part of this program is that I went off about 8 months ago and got a certification as a trainer. So I can now train up journal level instructors or journal level professionals in the construction field to become instructors. These are people that are quite fluent in what they already know.
Right.
So I'm not training them to be a plumber or an electrician. I'm training them to be an instructor, to be able to keep the curriculum to the highest levels, to perform that, but also ensure that when they're delivering NCCR curriculum, that they have a greater understanding of what that means. NCCR is all about, not about numbers per se. They're about ensuring that people get this, that when they walk onto a construction site or a maintenance department, that they are very much aware of what the safety measures are, but they prove that, I've gone through an NCCR certification training and I know what I'm doing here, right? So, a lot of programs like to brag about, we've certified, this many people. That's not what NCCR does. They like quality. They want to make sure that when that person holds their card or their transcript or their certificate, that
it comes with volume.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They're very particular, and I can tell you for 4.5 days, they beat that in my head. They're like, I don't care if you have 1,000 people wanting this program. Everybody that comes through it need to be quality, or we just pull your license.
So, Michael, you're doing all of this, and I'm quite sure you will be successful. It may take a little time to get off the ground, as we were speaking about, but don't give up.
Okay.
What do you think? Maybe you need to add another course into here that could change the mindset of our very own employers to want to hire our Caymanians, even when they've gone through this.
So, a major part of what employers have said to me over the last 1.5, 2 years of speaking to employers is that a lot of our youngsters, while they come in with a number of skill sets, they don't come in ready to work.
Or motivated.
They're
Lack
not
motivation.
Their attitude is not where they feel. They don't have, let's face it, Cayman business community they're not about charity, right? They're in it to make money. They don't have a lot of time.
All hands on deck.
Absolutely,
come prepared, come skilled. It's time to get work done.
And that's what this is about, right? So NCCR created a program called Tools for Success. It's one of the things that I've just showed you in this here. And that's what this is all about. So Tools for Success is going to be, it's going to be one of those programs that's mandatory. Young people have to be able to go through that program in order to get their certification as well. So it's going to be run hand in hand with the PATA certification training, with the Intro to Automotive, with the core curriculum in the NCCR program. And a lot of it is changing attitudes. Another thing that I've been doing over the last couple of months is speaking with a lot of employers, because part of this is ensuring that the transition between training and work is seamless.
Yes.
Right? Similar like what your son have gone through. Had he gone through a year of training and at the end of the day, there not be a position, he would have been deflated.
Done.
Right? So he'd have been ready to give up. It's okay, so you've now trained me, but I'm still on my back.
Yes.
Right? I still don't have any prospects. And this is what has to happen for me as well. So I've been setting up service level agreements. I have about at least 8 service level agreements set up. 2 of the biggest service level agreements is between DART, myself, and CUC. And then I have a number of other organizations that are coming in and are pledging their support as well. And this is what I need at this point. So when I have a cohort of anywhere between 12 to 15, they're guaranteed a job.
Placement.
Right? They're guaranteed an apprentice. They're guaranteed mentoring. I've also said and part of the service level agreements is mentoring from the onset. So once the program starts, a student will be mentored by an organization. So when they've gone through this in the next 3 to 6 months, it's seamless. It's that progress of been okay. You and I have been talking for the last 3 or 4 months. It's now let's get you set up in a job, right?
Yeah.
So I want to make this as easy as possible, but also working with the new work entity, the new work agency that just come out. Working with other government departments. I've met with the Department of Children and Family. I met with Needs Assessment Unit. It's working with those organizations that we can also have the the referral process become a little bit easier to where people aren't running around and don't know what the expectation. I've also ensured that we can have people register online so they don't have to come in and fill out a lot of paper.
Right.
But when they come to see me, it's really about helping them understand what programs they qualify for and where they can get this paid. You know, we've always had vocational grants. We've always had vocational scholarships. You know, people have been successful in doing that through UCCI. So it's about helping people actually maneuver through the system and getting them set up, getting them trained, and moving them into the workforce.
So I have to ask this: how affordable are the courses?
Right now, the courses range anywhere between $3,500 to $4,000 for a 3 to 6 month course. The automotive courses are a little bit more expensive because there's a lot more equipment and moving parts to it. I mean, I've invested, like I've told you, well over $50,000 already in this program. You know, rent is, you know, about $30,000 over the next year. So I want to make sure it's quality, but I want to also make sure that, you know, I can pay people and ensure that the people that we bring in to teach are quality people, right? But we are also having to guarantee that these youngsters or these people who are in part of this program are moving on to being successful. So a lot of that have been already set up, already implemented. I mean, I've had to purchase almost $15,000 worth of tools, just tools alone, and computers and all of that sort of stuff. So it's I think it's a great investment. I've tried not to ask anyone for anything because I wanted people to have a clear understanding that I also too need to have some skin in the game with this. I could have stayed on the sideline and complain and whine about, you know, us not having any programs. I've gotten off the sideline and I've said, you know, even though I'm working full time, I need to do something more to help our people.
That's right. Good for you. Welcome to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. This is our second segment of today, and we put the spotlight on Inspire Cayman Training. I'm pleased to have in studio with me Mr. Michael Miles, owner-director of Inspire Training Cayman Limited. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll hear a little bit more about the side electrical trade and additional information as well as Mr. Miles would like to share. So keep it locked to the Business Buzz for more after these messages.
RC Fusion featuring Billboard pop hit songs and more from the 70s to the 90s.
RC Fusion.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. till 12. RC Fusion.
Brought to you by Tasty Patties. Baked fresh every 30 minutes. Available at Tortuga locations, the Patty Express Industrial Park, and Bake It and Take It on Eastern Avenue. Get tasty now.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment.
Cayman's Business Buzz.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz that is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, keeping the spotlight on Inspire Cayman training, which is to prepare and support trainees through a rigorous curriculum that will enable them to achieve individual career and learning goals. Courses will be taught by certified instructors who desire to grow and encourage individuals interested in their trades. Inspire Cayman training values and a commitment to excellence, respect, responsibility, perseverance, and integrity. ICT will achieve this together as a community of trainees, instructors, and support staff. Telling us more is Mr. Michael Miles in studio, who's owner and director. Just before that break, I wanted to hear more about the electrical trade side and what you offer.
So NCCR offers it's a phenomenal program. I mean, all of the programs are phenomenal, but the electrical program offers 4 different levels. Level 1 is an introductory, or level 1 and 2 is more introductory. 3 and 4, you're talking about journey level, professional level, preparing you to take your electrical exam. All of them, I would say, is probably about a year and a half, 2 years, and then you're ready for your exam, because ultimately a lot of these youngsters or people that's going to come through this also have to be working within the field.
Right.
The wonderful thing about NCCR is that it mixes theory with practical from the onset. So if you take a module test, you have a practical test as well.
Mm-hmm.
You have to show what you've learned. It's not about just sitting in a classroom and, taking notes off a board. You have to actually show that, okay, I understand this. And if you don't move on.
Mm-hmm.
Like the instructor will have to go back through it. If you fail a test, you don't move on. You take that test over.
Okay.
The instructor sits with you over. So all of the electrical course in Cayman is the same electrical course. In Texas is the same electrical course in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it very, very fluent where it comes to a lot of our kids and certainly other young people who are moving between countries at this point in time.
Right. So who can attend Inspire Cayman Training Limited?
We have our admission is open from young people that are 15 years and above. And I've decided 15 years because I've seen a lot of youngsters who just dropped out of school.
Mm-hmm.
They are just out in the street, or they are in the court system, or they're in the youth court system, or the schools basically have put them in the in the behavior program at SciFac. So I wanted to make sure that we didn't miss anyone, that they didn't have to be 18 years older, but this is accessible to all. It's also about partnering with the private and public schools that in the event, if they want their young people to be part of this, we can also make that happen. But I also want to ensure that by the time a young person graduates high school, that they're really qualified in something, right? And that's what this is about, that they're coming out of high school with actual qualifications, not just a high school diploma that oftentimes isn't widely respected by our community.
Right. Now, when you look at the opportunities that are available, and again, this is something that you and I discussed just before the show started about us being products in class of 1990. Back then, it was just middle school, high school. You came out of primary school, middle school, high school, and then you did sixth form, which almost appeared to have been all the brain bugs, all those smarter ones. I really, in their defense and supporting all of the staff over there at SciFac, don't feel that they get enough credit.
They don't.
That group of over there, further education, they look as though the stigma that comes along with it, it's only bad kids who are just going because they can't graduate. And that is so far from the truth.
I mean, have you seen a mechanic who couldn't read or write, or a contractor who couldn't read floor plans?
Some are the best ones.
Or electrical plans and so forth. I mean, these are bright people, right? I mean, this isn't about attracting the kids that don't really want anything. This is attracting the kids that actually are doing well.
They have kids who are actually opting to go to SciFac because of the hands-on technical training that they're able to get, and they have the passes that would get them straight into UCCI. But they opt to go to SciFac.
Sabrina, when you look at our immigration statistics, the biggest immigration, the biggest work permits right now are in the vocational fields, right? That's a fact. You know, when you look at automotive and construction, they have the majority of people that is in those fields that are on work permits. Then you look at folks within the hospitality industry. It's huge in this country, right? You know, we're talking about building another or building a cruise port that's going to provide more jobs within that industry. Well, where are those people going to train? You know, who is going to train up those folks? I think the biggest challenges that we have in this country is that we haven't given the private sector a bigger carrot to do more training. And I think that has to be on the forefront going into the next election. How do we inspire the private sector to take on more? How do we inspire the private sector to reduce the numbers of work permits that they have in their particular organizations and ensure that Caymanians have more progress throughout? Well, the only how we are going to do that if we are consistently saying, here's what you get in return, right? We're not doing that. Well, all we're doing is just we're collecting a lot of money, and we're saying we brag about having millions of dollars in surplus when you still have a prison system that's full with people. You still have a court system. We've just bought, a court building. I mean, what do you think we're going to put in that? It's not going to be stores, right? It's going to be prosecuting our people. We still have the largest population within the prison system. Well, those people aren't going nowhere. Well, who's going to train those people up? When they come out, who's going to protect their families? So what we have is, we are consistently saying how, we have employment going down, but then we have poverty going up. We have, people that are drawing some level of welfare going up. So it means that the jobs that we're creating, that Caymanians are placed in, are not providing the sort of value for money for them to protect their families.
The income.
Right? So at the end of the day, I want to be able to be a part of that process.
To give them an opportunity.
They have to have that opportunity, and they have to be able to negotiate their salaries at a higher level. If they can't do that, our poverty levels are going to go through the roof. Our crime level is raising. We are already talking about, giving the police more money. Well, the people that are being arrested are the McFeels, the Miles, the Bordens, the Bushes, the Ebankses. It's not people getting off a cruise ship, right? It's us. So I want to be part of that trend that's going to stop a lot of that, or at least reduce it to where our people have the opportunity to be more competitive. Right now, they're not.
Let's educate, empower, and give our people back the independence. Everybody has value.
Right, but that's what I was given. That's what you were given, right?
It is, yes. It is a delicate balance, in all honesty, in trying to make sure that we grow our country and also be able to place qualified locals. So with what you're doing, with what Public Works, it may, in our opinion, took a long time to come to head, but at least it's on its way.
It's here.
I'm seeing more private companies actually allowing internships and taking on in these collaborations. I have seen that myself, but there's a lot more to be done.
Absolutely.
And there is lot that we can do as our own, as parents, to encourage our children to have a more positive outlook, to have a better decorum when they actually go in. This is something maybe Ms. Thompson, we can speak to Ms. Thompson on in office etiquette. I think Miss Miller used to do, Miss Cheryl Miller was offering something. But these are all things that need to start from even year 6 of primary school, could be earlier.
It has to.
That conversation, eye to eye. Yeah. When you want to laugh, you don't even laugh anymore. Yeah. LOL. Yeah. What is LOL? Yeah. Let me see that emotion. Let's get that out. Let's see the shoulders and the posture up straight so that you can feel confident when you go in. When you walk in here, we have interns here at Radio Cayman all the time. And sometimes what you see coming in, it's like, they're not, are you having a good day?
No, they're not.
The shoulders are shrugged. Mm-hmm. They're not at all that happy, or it would appear. We don't know what's going on at home. But these are key little nuggets that help you when you go into the workplace so that persons can embrace you. You may be lacking theoretically, but if you have that positive outlook, that personality, that posture, it will motivate and inspire someone to work with you.
Totally agree with you. Attitude speaks
and keep
volumes.
Off the phone and social media whilst at work.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this current generation isn't there yet, and we haven't been able to bring them up to speed on what employers are looking for. And, quite often we are constantly saying that employers are just looking for, these degrees in high-level passes.
That's not always the case. They would prefer somebody who shows up to work on time, who has a positive outlook, encouraged to learn and show that on the workplace. Be able to get along with everyone in the workplace.
I've spoken, I know, in the last maybe 6 to 8 months with at least 15 contractors in the various fields, right? And the biggest thing that they've said is that I can train just about anyone. I just need them to come in prepared to work.
With that good attitude.
Yeah.
Good attitude.
Like they've all said, listen, man, I can train these. Like I can train, we have the capacity to train. But what I'm not going to do is chase people down.
To come to work.
Correct. Like I am not going to have you where you're showing up 2 days a week and my work site is 6. I have deadlines to meet. People are paying me because they need me to meet their deadlines, and I
contractual
want to make sure
agreements.
that I can do that.
These are serious contracts that these employers, serious risks that employers take on in certain industries, and everyone has to play their part.
Absolutely.
We got to pay some bills. Michael, very, very interesting conversation. Sure. We're going to keep the spotlight, though, on Inspire K-Man Training after these few messages.
Hi, I'm Dawn McLean Brady, President of the Cayman Islands Small Business Association, better known as CISPA. Small businesses drive Cayman's economy. As small business owners, we depend on government to create an environment where we, as entrepreneurs, can do what we do best, and that's to provide products and services that are valuable to our customers and, in turn, employ others. The cruise piers and cargo ports provide these opportunities. Encourage our government to build a port and let the Caymanian entrepreneurial spirit shine. Support the port, support our tourism.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Sabrina Turner, and I'm speaking with Mr. Michael Miles, owner-director of Inspire K-Man Training Limited. Maybe this is an outlet for you. Looking to take up a course and be certified by accredited institution in automotive maintenance and light repair? Maybe HVAC. How about getting PADI trained certified? Maybe you're a person who loves to deep sea dive and you want to make that into your next career. You may want to reach out to Inspire K-Man Training and contact Mr. Michael Miles today to find out what is required for you to get on board and get enrolled in one of his courses. Mr. Miles, how can persons get additional information and register? When does this all start?
So we're looking at a July start date right now. They can go online, www.inspirekaymantraining.com. The admission form is right there. If they have any, if they want to give me a call, 939-1301. But all of the information, I've tried to put as much information on my website as possible so people have an opportunity to really get a good preview of each course. I've put explanations on all of the modules that we have. The PADI training, I'm partnering with Eco Divers, so they're going to be a major partner in this. I'm really impressed with just their operation, the things that they're doing. So a lot of our, all of our PATA certification training, I think the first 6 modules are going to be run through them. So these are really exciting times. It is really exciting times. We ran a program at Hope Academy over the last year, and we partnered with Sunset Divers, and we had, I think it was about 5 young people got their open water certification.
Excellent.
I mean, it was brilliant. I mean, absolutely brilliant. They love the underwater. They're more pumped, you know, to now move on into getting more certification. So these are kids now that have something to put on a resume, right? So I've just seen a huge difference. We ran an automotive program at Hope last year. The program went very well. We had, one of the Rotary clubs came in and helped me put a container. I got a 50-foot container donated. The Rotary Club helped me paint it up, put it together, and we ran a shop through it.
Excellent.
So, I mean, there's a lot of really cool things that I believe if we join hands as private and public that we can do to eliminate, a lot of the underemployed, certainly enhancing a lot of the trade jobs. We can do this.
People just need to have a sense of worth, and you're giving this an opportunity, empowered. And once you can get qualified, be able to secure a good job, get some money into your pocket, it will amaze you how people can just turn around.
I've seen it, man. I've been working with young people and certainly very vulnerable families for about 25, 26 years now. So I've seen when you develop good relationships, and this is what I said to the construction industry. Our people get off on relationships. It's not about you being a boss and the child being a subordinate. It is about building a relationship with young people. I just gave I was asked to sit on a panel at the HR conference, and it's one of the things that I spoke about for 5 minutes. It's human
Teamwork.
Resources folks now need to look at developing relationships. These kids are talented, but they're not going to stay motivated if all they feel
ostracized. We can't do that because you look away, you dress away, you only bring this amount to the table. How we all started somewhere.
Yeah.
Not all of us started with a degree. Some of us have gone through lives without it. It's just good old experience and someone who was willing to take the risk, to take you under their wings and look at what they've become today.
This is it. I mean, I tell people, I tell a lot of our kids all the time. I mean, one of my first jobs was 13 years old at Pageant Beach, pulling, trees and debris out of the swamp. I was employed by a contractor, and I was 13 years old, and I was, knee high up in swamp, moving coconut trees and other things. And I did that for an entire summer. I could also remember working at the Lions Pool as an assistant a swim instructor. And, I didn't want to be a swim instructor, but it gave me a lot of purpose. It kept me off the street. I was a football coach under people like Gillis Seymour and Winston Chung. So there's a lot of opportunities that I got in order to enhance my ability, especially, having a better attitude, being a leader. I was always put in that capacity. And this is what I've said to, folks in the HR industry. You can't just look at a kid and just feel that the kid's a thug, or they're not going to do well. You certainly have to get to know them.
But with children, Michael, having children nowadays, our parents were totally different.
It is.
What are we doing as parents now, being children of the 70s, so that we can embrace other kids who we probably may have went to school with their parents and see that their kids have fallen down the wayside.
You're right.
How we were raised and how we have to raise our very own kids right now, honestly, is totally different.
It is.
We have a total different mindset. We were too excited and eager to be 18 to get out and be on our own. Yeah. Now it's appeared to have been a shift.
It is a shift, but I also believe that, after reviewing reports and based on a lot of experience, and this comes from working in 2 countries, because I've also worked with young people in the U.S. as well, a lot of it have been, this compromise, this continued compromise that parents have made. We have said to our kids, well, we don't want you to work as hard as we did.
Yes, and that was the biggest mistake.
Huge. It was the hugest mistake that any parent could
We
do.
created an entitlement generation. However, the good thing, we are having the discussion as parents ourselves and realize that we've messed up, but it's not too late.
Yeah.
It's correcting it.
I wanted my kids to work hard. My daughters have been working, especially my oldest have been working since she was about 12, 13 years old. My second daughter she worked at Kirk sometimes she was 11 and a half, and like they want to do well. I wanted them to have a clear understanding that the payment for any work that they do right now is the skills that they get.
Exactly.
Right? So we're always looking at this as, well, I don't want my kid to be a construction worker because, those people aren't smart. And I'm constantly saying, based on what? I don't understand based on what you are paying these people thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to build your houses, to build buildings, and they're not smart people. I just think it's the most ridiculous thing. We have well over 30,000 cars in Cayman. Well, when I'm taking my car to a garage, I hope to God that a person is trained and specialized in the sort of vehicle that I have. Other than that, I wouldn't be doing that, right? These are people that are making a lot of money. You're not taking your car to a garage for anything less than $80 to $90 an hour. Right? So that is just that, like, it is what it is. I mean, similar, like when I worked at the Hyatt, I was paying bartenders $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year. Servers were making well over $50,000, $60,000 a year. Yet we consistently say to our people that, well, the hospitality industry don't make any money. Like, we are not being honest with what's going on here. Now, you can say that you just don't want
to do that type of
precisely, but you cannot say that these people aren't making. Well, why are people flooding into this country?
Exactly.
Like, why are people coming from all over the world to be a server in a hotel? Because they know what it is, right? And it is hard work. It is determination. My daughter's doing a stint at the Marriott as an assistant pastry chef because that's what she wants to do, right? And it's hard work. I mean, she's working 8-9 hours on her feet. But that's the choice that she gets to make.
But she has the passion there.
Correct.
That's
and
her
it's
passion.
not my choice for her. It's her choice for herself.
Exactly.
But she loves it. She wants to do it. So what I've said is the attitude towards raising children has changed. Children hasn't changed. Trust me, they haven't. Our attitude towards raising them have changed, and that's been, I think, the biggest blow to our country, is that we are consistently talking about we don't want our kids to work as hard as we do, when I believe that our kids should be working hard. We've brought in over 27,000 people in this country, if not more, and they're competing against our kids.
Very own.
So if our children aren't working hard, they're not actually going to be working, period.
Exactly.
Right? So this is the stuff that I say to children. This is the things that I say to parents all the time. You could dumb it down as much as you want, but when your child walk out of school, they're going to be competing against a person in China or Brazil or somewhere else.
But it's happening right in the schools right now.
It is.
It doesn't even happen exterior, but I know time is against us, Michael. This is a very informative discussion. I know you didn't realize how quick it was going. Yeah. Where is Inspire Cayman Training Limited located? What are the hours of operation right now as it is getting in tune and taking registration? And understanding that your courses are not for free. No. Do you offer financing?
We offer a payment plan. So, folks don't have to come up with all the money offhand, but I will certainly work with folks. I've been saying to people all the time, there are scholarships available through the government. So, I'm in the process of registering through the government. So folks it'll be a little bit easier for people to apply. There's also organizations like DART and CUC and the Contractors Association all have funding. People just need to tap into a lot of that. Contractors and other organizations, who have come forward and said, we'd like to sponsor as well. So there's a number of different things. They can go online and complete the admission form. That's the first step. We are going to be based at Crown Square, which is just right off of Eastern Avenue. It used to be Trinity Square. So that's where we're going to be, all right there on the bottom floor. The place is already set up. We're looking at a July start date at this point. I am meeting with people because, again, I work full-time, so I'm meeting with folks in the evenings, reviewing their admission documentation, seeing what programs that they want to do. So they can definitely shoot me an email. And my email right now is info@inspirekimandtraining.com, or they can go on the website and there's a portal there that they can send me a message and I can set up some time to meet with them. So there's loads of opportunities here now to have open discussion about where young people want to be, what sort of jobs and careers that they want to get in.
Okay. Michael, it has been a pleasure speaking
Pleasure's
with
mine.
you, and I want to wish you all the best in Inspire
Thank you.
K-Man training.
Thank you.
Hope to have you
Appreciate it.
back on in the near future.
Absolutely.
The Business Buzz is brought to you every Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 until 9. We want to thank our kind sponsor, Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. We also want to thank our producer, Ms. Susan Watson, who's also manning the boards. Welcome back. Until Thursday, have a safe and fabulous Tuesday.
Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by insurance agents Michael Webster and Denise Brown from Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in life and property insurance. Don't take chances with your family's future.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.